You need to shut the fuck up.
Hey, motherfuckers. This is Minx. Suck my balls.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Codman!
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Freedom. Happy Friday the 13th. Oh, my God. Best day ever. Hey, you guys. I'm Minx, by the way, in case you didn't fucking already know that. I'm joined with Pookie and Owl and Spanky. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Oh, my God, you guys.
Oh my God.
Oh, my God. Mother of
Oh.
God.
Let's hear the girly scream. Come on.
I did it. I'm so excited. You guys are going to have Erik Stolhanske on. I really hope I'm saying that correctly, too.
Right, meow?
Right, meow? Like, no, not right, meow. He is going to be on in about an hour. So for
Meow
those
late.
of you who are listening right now, we are going to have Erik on in an hour. And yes, you will see his face up here with mine. So we figured that shit out. So that's exciting. So yeah. And it's the first day that I'm not like fucking stoned out of my mind. So I'm excited. I'm like my normal self. It's great.
And you decided to do the hair change on top of it.
I did. I was feeling good. So I was like, hey, let's change it up. So I put red in it. And now I'm like all Dark Phoenix-esque.
Another goth girl comes around.
Yeah. Friggin'. Yes. But yes, so excited about our guest tonight. I cannot wait. Because what opens next motherfucking weekend but Super Troopers 2? And we've been waiting on this for years. Like, let's face it, like, years.
Yes.
So,
Like decades.
yeah. It's going to be interesting because, you know, like, they're all older now. You know, like, are they going to be like I always had a crush on Rabbit. Like, honestly, like, I did. So I'm a little, like, fangirling out right now that I get to actually talk to him. But, like, now, like, they're older, so I'm like, am I still going to find you attractive? Is that mean? I feel like that was a little mean. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You're not into those old men, huh?
I wouldn't say that.
You're the Sam Elliott lovers, huh?
I'm an equal opportunist. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
You've been watering your flowers, I see.
I have. They opened. I'm so excited. I checked on them today, and like there was no water in the vase, and I'm like, gotta fix that. So I had to, take care of them, which is really good because normally, like, I kill ivy. Like for a witch, like I do not have a green thumb at all. Like I kill plants. So I was really excited when I walked into my office today and like, one, it smells fucking awesome because, the flowers are blooming, but two, they bloomed and they didn't just fucking wither and die. So I'm like, oh, look at me go. I've got this. But,
Shit, and I'm like a borderline botanist.
dude, I can't. I don't know how to keep plants alive. I can keep animals alive. I can keep people alive, but I can't keep the hardest plant to kill alive. Like legit, I've killed ivy.
Maybe you should get cactuses.
It's cacti.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And I would probably, I would end up killing it because I'd water it too much and be like, you looked thirsty. Fully aware and like knowing that, this is an arid plant that thrives off of no rainfall. But I'd still be like, I should probably water it like now and then like a full like bottle of water onto it and be like, live! But,
And so those of you that want to know, no, she's not on medications today.
I have started drinking though. And I haven't
Ooh,
drank.
did you get that stout?
I did. Okay, so yeah. So I did. I'm not drinking it though. I'm drinking Spaten. So like the Oktoberfest beer.
Oh.
So good. It's so good. But no, there's a fucking phenomenal liquor store here in Texas called Specs. Which if they had replaced one letter and then changed and put like a sombrero on their like little mascot, it would be super racist. However, it is Specs, not Spix. So there's that. But yeah, no, so they import all this beer from like all over and like they get German and Belgian beer. And so I saw that they had this Spaten like that literally says like Oktoberfest on it. And I was like, oh my God. So I had to get it.
Did you ever go to Oktoberfest?
Many times. many times while I was stationed in Germany. Yeah, I went to the big one in Munich twice, and then I've also gone to the one in Stuttgart, and where's the other? I forget the other one that I went to, but I went to like 4 of them.
Nice.
Like fuck yeah, all dressed up in my little Drundle. It's fucking adorable as fuck. Although I was total like Texan with it because I definitely wore boots with my Drundle. No shame.
Had to throw your Americanese in there.
I did. Sorry. I didn't know what shoes to wear because like they sell the whole outfit, right? Except the shoes. And I'm like, well, what fucking shoes am I supposed to wear? And no one could tell me. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to wear the shoes that I always wear whenever I'm not at work, which is boots. So they were pink. They matched. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I made sure they matched.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. I think so. Shut up.
I'm not judging.
Oh, okay. Like, the amount of judgment I'm getting is phenomenal. But yeah, no, but I don't have like a stein to drink out of, so I just, a pint glass. But I got a 6-pack right here next to me because the best way to drink it is, of course, warm. You don't fucking chill this. And so it's just sitting here chilling, or like sitting here next to me. So throughout the evening, you'll see my glass like just magically refill. There you go.
Just magically.
I've got powers. But yeah, no, so it's like I haven't, oh my God, and it tastes so good. But no, so this is like my first day of like not being on any sort of narcotics, and I feel like myself again, and I'm fucking stoked. Like, I can see, like, I'm able to read today. This is amazing. Tuesday was bad. Cause like
just a little.
Oh my God, it was so bad. Like, I'm so sorry. Anyone who watched like last Friday and then this past Tuesday, I'm so sorry. One, that I looked like absolute dog shit. I know I did because, again, I was high off my ass and I really just didn't care. But then also, on Tuesday, I couldn't read for shit. Like, I had such a hard time just setting everything up. I told Grey Cloud and Owl, like, before we went on, I was like, you guys are going to have to carry the show. I'm not even really here.
Well, I do know that you were entertaining from some of the comments
God.
I got was things like, she sure enjoyed sniffing those flowers.
They weren't even open. That's the worst part, is that they weren't even open.
But people were saying, boy, she just really got into putting her nose into those flowers.
Oh my God, these buds smell amazing. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm like fucking retarded. Oh, speaking of like me being retarded, so a couple weeks ago, like back in March, I did a podcast with Connecting Veterans, and it just like fucking released this week, like literally yesterday, and I listened to it finally today while I was setting up, and I'm just like, holy fuck, I'm retarded. So I don't know why anyone really like comes and watches my show. Like, I fully don't understand at all what the appeal is. But whatever.
Whatever makes people happy.
Oh, I guess. Right, God, and they keep coming back for more. That's the strange part.
Well, that's where we go. Yes, Mistress Meats.
Ah, Pookie. Okay. So speaking of like super racist, in like not this liquor store in Texas. Apparently there's a college in Claremont, California. It's called Scripps College, which has approved a swimming party that, quote, only allows people who identified as people with color are going to be allowed to attend.
Okay, here's the question. If I decide I want to identify as black, and I'm not, does I get to go?
You dude, right? Who are they to tell you that you can't identify as that?
Exactly.
It's like a win. But no, and like that's just it. Like, do I pull up like my Ancestry.com report and be like, no, bitches, it says right here, like 6% black, right there, right? You see it right there. Like, let me in. As I choke on spit. Oh, I can't. I need an adult. But yeah, but like it's fucking insane. Like, if it was reversed, right? Didn't we have this whole, like, civil rights movement to end segregation?
You know, I thought for sure it
60
did
years
back when
ago?
I was a kid.
Right? Like, that was the thing, right? But I'm pretty sure that if a group of white kids were like, we're going to have a white-only party, that would get shut down in a fucking heartbeat. Like, it wouldn't even be approved.
Oh,
right?
the college would go berserk even at the thought.
Right? So why is it then that it's okay to be racist against white people?
Well, here's the question. Okay, they say all of
I have a
color.
question.
So if I sit there and I say,
Right? White's a color.
yeah, I mean, okay, I'm not white. I'm a little tan. So does that mean I'm not necessarily white?
Right? I'm not fair skinned.
I'm white,
olive
white.
toned.
I'm not Germanic Nordic. So therefore, if I'm not if I'm not Nordic, therefore I must be something else. Therefore, I'm not necessarily considered a full white.
Right? And you can't even say Caucasian because Caucasian comes from the Turkish region. So,
Yep.
like, i.e. the Caucasus Mountains. But, whatever. But yeah, so apparently the event's Facebook post notes that the party will be hosted by a student group called Café Con Leche, a group that claims to be the badass Latinx at Scripps, quote unquote. The group is saying that the event is to move to help build community among the school's minorities, the College Fix reports. Quote, bring your chanclas and the homies over to our nice-ass resort pool. Let's take, and then in all caps, let's take up space. The announcement says, adding that the event is a safe space for students that identify as people of color to come together and build community. So, I wonder if they're going to bring that one chick who's what, like, I don't even fucking know her name, but that...
Yeah, comes from here, of all places.
No, the ghetto trash, no, not that Rachel chick.
Oh my god, I know who you're talking about.
The fucking chick who's clearly white, but she's like, no, I'm black, and like she's ghetto as fuck, and you're like, God, like, and then like I need fucking subtitles when you're speaking here. Like, when did it become a crime for people to speak proper English? I have questions.
I can
stop teaching it in schools.
God damn it.
I can remember when they actually introduced Ebonics into the curriculum.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, what kind? Like, I'm from California, and that shit wasn't in my school.
Yeah, that
you would think.
I remember hearing about that, and that was actually in California.
Like in college classes?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Isn't that what Urban Dictionary's for?
Right? Fucking Urban Dictionary, that shit. But no, honestly, like, the fuck? When did it become a sign of, like, white superiority, quote unquote, or whatever, if you spoke in coherent sentences and thoughts and proper grammar?
But that's forcing people to, what's the word I'm looking for? To comply under the white rule.
Because you don't sound like an idiot?
But remember, we don't have a language for the U.S.
I mean, in theory.
Well, I'm just saying, we still have not come up with a consistent language for the U.S. Hasn't been voted in yet.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. However, it's like an undisputed, untalked about, like, unwritten rule that English is the national language of the United States.
This I agree with, but at the same time,
but I understand. I get where you're coming from, and that it hasn't been, like, officially declared. Maybe it's about time we do something about that.
well, let's call out Trump and say, let's do an exec order.
Right?
Oh God, the heads would be blowing up over this shit.
Could you imagine? Oh my God, it'd be great.
Like straight aneurysms.
Daddy Trump setting the national language.
Chagrin intensifies.
Right? Oh my God. Could you fucking imagine? But I mean, you know, you look at like, you know, immigrants who've come here like, you know, back in the day, right? Who came here and refused to teach their kids their home language of like where they came from, but instead made sure that they learn English so that way they could prosper here in this country. And now I don't know, maybe it's the music that people listen to now, maybe it's the media, maybe it's a subculture of, you know, wanting to be cool or whatever. But honestly, like when people don't talk like they, or when people speak when like, oh, just badly. Like I'm judging the shit out of you. I'll admit it. I judge the shit out of you. Like what kind of backwoods place are you fucking from?
I was about to say, obviously you ain't been up in deep Appalachia.
Right? Yeah, no, and that's just it. Like, I'll judge. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. If you talk to me like you're uneducated, I'm going to be like, God, we need to get you a book. Like, let me help you.
Yeah, that shit's like a different language. You have to grow up around it to understand it.
Yeah, see? Pookie, and like, sometimes I have a hard time understanding Pookie, but I know, like, he's like, I don't judge you because I know you're fucking educated. But, like, you know, but every so often I'm like, what the fuck did you say?
And see, when you may not be able to relate to this because of our age difference, but back when I was growing up, that was actually something you took pride in, was being able to speak the language clearly and articulately.
And so that my whole question is that when did that become a like social taboo? When did that become something that's frowned upon, especially for kids in fucking suburban areas? Where it's like you're not in the inner city. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you talking
there's
like
that, I
this?
would say, that Cockney accent from the UK that's real hard to understand.
Oh, hello, governor.
Yeah. I mean, if you get to certain places in the UK, I mean, their language is like completely freaking different.
Yeah, but again, it seems to be more like in the inner city areas that are you would think would be more highly developed, but like they're not when it comes to social constructs. That's where you see more of this like language breakdown, right? And then when you get into the suburban area, you're like, oh, people talk normal here. And then when you get like out in the boonies, like then you really see like a language deconstruction. But like for I don't know, like you know, you think inner city, you would think that would be the most constructed language area ever, because again, you're in the middle of a fucking city. You're in the middle of this metropolitan that is the hub of all things culture and art and language. But it's a total breakdown.
And that's because they took the language of, this goes back to mid 80s when they started looking at, okay, urban culture is a culture in and of itself, so therefore it needs to be preserved. Therefore, we need to start understanding their language rather than them integrating into ours, and then gangsta and everything else became the
cool thing to do.
Gangsta.
You're so
Yeah.
gangsta.
Well, but that's just it. It sounds silly, but
so white.
gangsta and all that stuff started becoming popular. It spread into where kids who would normally sit there and try to articulate and actually try to up themselves in life started talking gangsta, and they're being told that, hey, it's better to just deal drugs and make money. Well, that's my opinion anyway. It's observations. It's something that you observe over time as you watch cultures change. You just sit there and go, okay, it used to be you wanted very hard to articulate. You wanted to be able to write cursive. You wanted to be able to fit in. Now it's the wrong thing to fit in.
Oh, hell, kids can't even read cursive these days.
Right, which is probably why they're having such a hard time understanding the Constitution.
Exactly.
It's written in cursive. They can't fucking read it.
Maybe I should translate it over to emojis.
Right? Oh my God. We totally are. We're going back to like hieroglyphics.
Didn't think about that, but you're right.
We totally are, which is awesome because like I love ancient Egypt and like their whole thing, except for, like the whole slavery part, but everything else.
Well, and hopefully not the human sacrifice part either.
Got shit done.
Keep people on edge, right?
Yeah. Mind your manners. Why? Do you want to be sacrificed to the gods tomorrow? No. Exactly. See? You can't threaten kids with fucking human sacrifice anymore. That's what the fuck is wrong. Everyone became monotheistic and like everyone stopped being a pagan, right? And like doing human sacrifices to the gods to bring rain or whatever. And so now we have kids who are out here trying to like run the country when they're not even old enough to fucking vote, let alone drive. And there's no fear of like, I don't want to be sacrificed tomorrow to the fucking deities, so maybe I should just mind my manners. Boom. Got it.
I love it. All I can say is only you.
Kind of hits the nail on the head, though.
It does, though, right? Like, I don't feel like being sacrificed to the rain god today, so I think I'm going to do my homework.
And it translates over, though, into the Mayan culture.
It does.
So, therefore, the Mexicans can't say that they wouldn't have that problem. So we can sit there and say, well, okay, you don't want Egyptian, then let's go to Mayan.
Right? Or we could do Greco-Roman.
There you go.
That works too. They weren't, every so often they do human sacrifice, but it wasn't that often. Or Norse, yes. Again, same. It wasn't often, but every so often, every little bit or whatever, they'd, sacrifice someone. But it wasn't super often. So
that's what we need to just bring back is the blood eagle when people start acting normal.
Oh my God.
Cause is saying minks for president, bring back human sacrifices.
Fuck yeah. No, don't do that. It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon in today's society.
Well, again, human sacrifice, those who frown upon it, guess what?
Oh, first on the list.
Mob rules.
No, oh my God. Okay, so speaking of Daddy Trump, apparently President Trump not President Trump, however, a group of construction workers have broke ground on a high priority stretch of President Trump's border wall in New Mexico. So the wall is being built, y'all. I'm excited.
Yay.
Right? Hooray, border security.
It's 18 feet high.
Oh, it's only 18?
According to the article, it's 18 feet high.
See,
it's a 20-mile section.
I'm looking at a different article that's saying it's going to be 30 feet high.
Huh.
I think they're just installing the ground base to it.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be in Santa Teresa, New Mexico.
Yep.
And then they're also, I read they're breaking ground in Calexico too, I think.
Yeah. So I think it's 18 feet high at the base, but then total height is going to be 30 feet.
So don't worry, people. There is a wall coming to you soon.
So apparently, so after President Trump became president, he, because during his whole campaign, he was saying how, during that whole 2,000-mile border with Mexico that we've got, he was going to put a wall, right? Well, apparently he reduced it down to 700 miles, which, it's honestly better than what we've got. Considering currently only about 1/3 of the border is currently fenced, 354 miles of pedestrian fence, and 300 miles of vehicle barrier.
Well, the whole idea is they said flat out there are some areas that don't need to be fenced because of natural barriers anyway.
Because of mountains or canyons or whatever.
Deserts.
Yeah, that too.
So it only makes sense. The areas that are the highest traffic and most easily accessible.
And I think that's exactly what they're doing right here with Santa Teresa, New Mexico. Is that they looked and they saw that this is a high trafficked, high volume area, and it's all right, this is priority number 1. Close it off. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. But Pookie, what you said about the deserts, right? Is that a lot of sympathizers are going out there and leaving jugs of water.
Oh God.
Oh well, that's like feed cats. Once you do it, you can't get rid of them.
See, yeah. So yeah, but they're leaving
don't
these
go
jugs
on that
of water.
cat thing, Pookie.
Do what? What?
Don't go off on that cat thing, Pookie. I warn you.
You got a new kitty, Pookie?
No, hell no.
Pookie likes to he's not a cat lover. Let's put it that way.
Oh, we know. I tried to get him. We've tried many times to convince him to keep that cat that he gave to a special lady friend of his.
Yeah.
I could just see it coming though. I could see that smile growing behind him when you mentioned cats.
Meow.
Right, meow.
Right meow. Oh my God. Oh, how are you feeling, Pookie?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. You didn't do it. I'm so upset with you right now. So upset.
Why?
It's the best line out of Super Troopers. How are you feeling?
Oh.
Good enough to fuck your mother!
Oh, I'm slow as shit like that.
Fucking backwoods hillbilly. Get with the program, man.
Come on, keep with your stereotype.
Right? Oh my God. So a billionaire has bid $890 million to help save Toys R Us.
Really?
Really. So billionaire Isaac, mother of God, Larian. There we go. Why not? The toy maker, whose lineup includes Little Tykes and Bratz dolls, offered to save part of Toys R Us from liquidation with an almost $900 million bid for stores in the U.S. and Canada. Larian would pay $675 million and $215 million for outlets in Canada. He said Friday in a statement, the funds will come from Larian himself and bank financing, including UBS Group AG and Bank of America Corp. Larian told Bloomberg in an emailed statement. The would-be rescuer, is the chief executive officer of MGA Entertainment Inc., which sells toys including LOL Surprise and Baby Born. I had to put surprise because, there's an exclamation mark. So you gotta, surprise! Anyways, back to the article. Larian previously started a GoFundMe campaign to help keep Toys R Us open, with the page now showing pledges of $200 million from Larian and other investors, and an additional almost $60,000 from various public contributions. The crowdfunding was, quote, meant to bring community awareness to the effort of saving Toys R Us, he said via email. We are financing this from personal funds as well as bank financing. Larian's statement said the formal bid has been put in, but he said later via email that the bids are going in today. He's working with advisors who he declined to name and said he intends to bid for about 274 U.S. stores. Representatives for Toys R Us and UBS declined to comment.
That's a bold business move.
Yeah, I hope he does a good business structure. I mean, that was their biggest problem. Their business model just wasn't working.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because they refused to do anything online.
Well, yeah, they were solely, you have to come in and I mean, all you have to do is say, I want this, mommy, and they can order it on Amazon and probably get a better product cheaper.
Well, I don't know about better product because some of this stuff comes from China, and you're like,
Yeah, you're right. But still, if they could get it cheaper, and I don't know. I hope they take on more of a 21st century outlook.
Yeah. So
I don't know. They need to do like what GameStop gets me every time I walk in there with their toys and stuff like that, like high end quality toys, like like that would bring like the millennials in and stuff, because who wants to buy cheap, like you said, cheap Chinese toys?
Yeah.
And you could just do that at the dollar store.
Exactly. So they need to bring, and you can get lost in Toys R Us. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean they have a lot of good stuff.
But
they had their own electronics area for kids stuff that was actually pretty good for little kids.
See, I don't know this. I don't have kids. I have not been to Toys R Us in decades. Let's be honest.
Well, since my baby's 29, I can't exactly say I've been there that recently. Well,
apparently,
but I've actually
I'm supposed to show show what bottle, cause like the bottle that I'm drinking. It's this one. Super good. Just saying. It's amazing. But no. Okay, so that other beer that I was gonna get it's called, it's an ale, but 2, it's called Temptress. And obviously, I had to get it. I saw the name and I was like, I have to, because I am one, right? So I've got to. This shit is 9.1% alcohol.
It's good beer right there.
I have not tried it yet.
A little
straight up good beer.
But I was like, all right, I can't get sloppy tonight, right? I have to be somewhat professional for our big guest. So
you don't want to go too fangirl on him?
Mm-mm. I don't want to scare him away and be like, oh my God, what the fuck did I sign up for? It'd be bad.
Just a little.
It would. It really would. Gotta be professional.
That, and it's not like Dad can come down there and pull you by the ear.
He's 3 hours away.
He'd be a little too late.
No, he'd probably still whoop me. He totally would. Cause would totally come down here and be like, the fuck's wrong with you? Or he'd send Spanky with her broom, who's literally across the street.
You can see that her kicking a door in and beating you with a broom.
She would too.
What the hell are you doing?
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Friggin' ridiculous. Oh, want to hear something else that's ridiculous? Apparently, only 2/3 of millennials, of American millennials, believe that the Earth is round.
That's believable.
Which means there's a good portion who is like, no, it's totally flat, man. Like, this is ridiculous.
And they're the educated ones.
Oh my god! Yeah, we've got like our generation has the most college degrees probably, and we're stupid as hell.
Well, that's because college degrees don't mean shit.
They never have. It's what you do with it and how you use it.
But no, like everyone's just going after this piece of paper, which honestly does nothing. Like, let's be honest, like that piece of paper can't really help you get a job. It's your experience and your knowledge in the field that you're going into. Like, just because you have a degree in mathematics does not mean you should probably work in the field of mathematics. I don't know. Maybe. But, but you bring up a good point is that, more people than ever are going to college and are apparently getting these, like, high-end degrees or, like, these esteemed degrees, and it's not paying off. Like, if anything, they're just, like, they're not going there to be educated. They're going there to learn how to memorize things.
Well, that's what they were saying the other day. I was reading in the news that the blue collar skills market right now is like hurting bad because everyone went the college route.
Because everyone wants to go to college because going to trade school and going to the military or going to trade school is frowned upon now because, you didn't go to college? And it's almost like, you are a second-class citizen now because you didn't go to college.
It's like a $25 an hour welding job,
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, at least I'm able to get a job instead of you with your fucking fancy 4-year degree who's struggling to find anything. So, fuck off.
Well, and that's
just... you spent $60,000 for a gender study degree. Congratulations.
Well, and that's just like my wife in her job, the producer. He said, and this is in construction, right now there are companies out there that need people. They say if you stick in construction, if you start out at the basics and you stick in construction and you actually try and apply yourself, within 5 years you will be making $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah.
And have a company vehicle, everything, because nobody's sticking around.
Because everyone wants to go and do the whole college route because, again, society has put on them that not going to college is some sort of negative thing. Like, you didn't go to that fucking, like, check mark? You're frowned upon. You're not, like, an actual adult. And, like, they put on these kids, and, like, this is my generation, too, and it's these, what's the right word? These check blocks, almost, if you will. And, you are not successful unless you have checked all of these boxes. Like, it's a prime example of me. I'm 32. I'm fucking 32 years old. By society standards, I should have at least a bachelor's degree, which I don't. I should be married, like, actually married and, like, not going through my first divorce. Which, again, like, I kind of checked that off, but it's being erased right now. I should have at least 3 kids, which I don't. I've got 3 dogs. Does that count? Like, I don't think so. But you know, and like, it's almost like they've put forth this blueprint, if you will, of like success and what it means to be successful in today's society. And it's all these fucking, like, you know, check marks and checkpoints. And hey, have you done this, 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 and this? You, by definition, are successful. But not one of those checkpoints is, are you happy?
Well, and that's just it. I have a friend who was a Vietnam veteran, or is a Vietnam veteran, excuse me, and he's also a retired teacher from California. And he said that the comparables are a high school degree for me is a bachelor's in college now, because it used to be that they taught the simple applied so that you were ready to get out of high school and go on your own and make money, whereas now it takes almost getting a bachelor's to get to that point.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of scary, is that they've almost dumbed down our education program.
That's the Common Core right there.
In order to force people to go into college and not go to trade schools.
Exactly. And
you know, I find it funny though, is I was making like $1,500 a week just swinging a hammer. You know, it's nuts.
Oh yeah, they're going to pay you good now for the blue collar and the labor jobs, especially if you stick with it and you have any kind of brain. Yeah. You're going to be management material in almost no time.
Yeah. Especially depending on where you live and the demand and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw like a welding job in the DC area. I think it was unionized, but it was like $80 an hour or something like that.
As long as the economy is doing good, the blue collar jobs do great. And that's blue collar jobs. That's the unfortunate part, is they're kind of they do good according to the economy. Mm-hmm. That's the only downside to the blue collar jobs. I mean, if people aren't building houses, well, construction goes down, therefore the need goes down. If the economy goes down, people aren't necessarily going to be buying new cars, so therefore plant workers. Yeah. But so there is some back and forth with that, but at the same time, if you have laborers, if you have people who are working their butts off, you normally have a decent economy. It's when you get too top end, you get all those kids going to college and thinking they're all going to be in Fortune 500 companies and CEOs when they graduate.
Yeah.
All that does is flood the job market.
Exactly. And then at that point, there's no jobs to be had, and a lot of kids are living at home. Mm-hmm. But again, that's just an observation.
I just find it funny though. Like literally, you can go on Craigslist and get a construction job in 5 minutes, but most of these kids won't do it.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and kids will sit there and say, "I can't find a job."
Can't find a job, but they won't spend the energy to look for one.
If any, the Army taught you take whatever you can get, is whatever it takes to put food on the table, to put shelter over your home or over you. And to be able to do what it takes to at least exist. You do it. That's what the Army teaches you.
But that's just it, though, is that a lot of these kids are not going into the military.
Exactly.
So they don't get that sort of
we're the bottom of the bottom.
Instilled in them.
Yeah, especially with them jackasses like Saucer Greg and shit.
With who?
Saucer Greg, that teacher in California a while back that was recorded talking that smack.
That douchebag. See, he is of so much importance to me that I don't even know his name.
No, all I know him by is Saucer Greg. That's it.
No. Obviously, his just everything about his life and who he is as a person has affected me so deeply that I knew exactly who you were talking about. Fucking
But
asshole.
I always
God,
raise
I'm
that
so glad he
question though.
lost
Is
his
like
job.
you said that earlier. Oh, my bad.
No, I was just saying I'm so glad he lost his job.
Oh yeah, and the city council and all that shit. Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to toughen up these millennials yet. If they keep having problems with the numbers, the draft will come around, and those kids won't have a choice.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I'm all for mandatory service. I think it should
Yeah,
be a
no.
thing.
Hey,
should be.
I keep going back to Starship Troopers. Service guarantees citizenship.
Well, that's just it. It's that, it does.
I always have laughed because when people sat there and said, "Well, I don't get it." Of course, you don't get it. Unless you care about your country.
Right. So another statistic that is actually really, really worrisome to me is there's an article out here that says somewhere around 66% of U.S. millennials don't know what Auschwitz is.
That's very scary.
So the article says 2 in 3 Americans between the ages of 18 and 34 years old cannot say what Auschwitz was, according to a study released Thursday, known internationally as Holocaust Remembrance Day.
That is where you the history teachers and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, so 66% of the people polled, which were millennials, and 41% of all U.S. adults could not explain the significance of Auschwitz, which was a Poland-based concentration and extermination camp where the Nazis held 1.3 million people and killed 1.1 million during World War II. How the fuck do you graduate high school and having, go through world history and learn about the fucking Holocaust and you not know what the fuck Auschwitz is? Or Dachau?
I can tell you exactly why.
Because it's optional.
No, it's we have a test-based system now as our education system, so they only teach what will get them passed through the tests. That's
right.
the whole reason behind it.
You're right.
I just keep thinking of this quote that is something, if you forget history, something, doomed to repeat it, something, dark side.
There's a funny one, too, that says, he who knows his history is doomed to watch it repeat.
Right, and that's it.
Knowing that it's going to repeat.
If we don't fucking remember what the fuck Auschwitz is, that's exactly what's going to happen. Who the fuck's going to be next?
I think they just did another poll just recently, too, about millennials. I think 44% of them are for socialism, which is, what the fuck?
Everyone who says that they're for socialism, I think should have to do a mandatory 5-year sentence in either North Korea because they're socialist or fucking Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. That's the good one.
Yeah, that's the real good one.
Venezuela. If they think socialism
they'll argue
is
with
the
you. That's not real
fucking way to
socialism,
go,
though. That's not real socialism.
Go spend 5 years down in in socialist Venezuela. But you let me know, 1, if you fucking survive, and 2, how fucking that worked out for you. You just go ahead and you go do that, and then you let me know. And you know what? Not even 5 years. Do it a year. Do it a year. Let me know how it was. Hopefully you are alive at the end of the year so you can come back. I don't know.
Hope. If you're a snowflake, who knows if you'll make it?
Right? God, you have no living skills.
They wouldn't be able to survive.
They'd be looking for the bottled water.
Oh.
Avocados and toast.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, with that, it's time for our break. When we come back, we are going to have the one and only Rabbit, aka Erik Stolhanske, on after the break. So excited. So excited. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yup. Be back later.
Right, yeah. All right, you guys. We'll be back in about 12 minutes. So hang tight and we'll be back. Shots.
Wake up early, about noon. Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Seems time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. Got my shit together, I gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. My mouth is blurry and my vision's dry. I'm looking at the world through empty bloodshot eyes. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. Just like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving on the road to nowhere. Just like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere. But I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody, to Friday Night Freedom. I am joined by the one and only Erik Stolhanske. Hi!
Hey!
Oh my god!
Freedom!
Like, legit. Okay, so everyone knows, like, I legit turned into a basic white girl when Erik first, like, answered Skype and, like, his face popped up. I could not even. I was like, oh my god. Like, I started freaking out. I may have cried a little.
I'm so flattered.
Yeah, dude, huge fan.
Well, that's so cool. You gonna check out the new movie?
Yes. Oh my god. Like, again, been waiting like a decade and a half for this.
Tell me about it.
Like, absolutely crazy. All right, so like, because it had been like, you know, a minute since I had last seen like the original Super Troopers. And so I watched it again for the first time, you know, probably a year or two, maybe 3, I don't know. But I fell back in love with it. And just everything about that movie, just hilarious. So you play Rabbit.
Yes.
So in Super Troopers 2, is Rabbit no longer the fucking new guy?
Well, here's the problem. I'm still a low man in the totem pole.
What?
Which means, in their eyes at least, I'm still the rookie. Not of mine, but I can't do much about it. I can't persuade them I'm not the rookie anymore.
You're still the fucking new guy after 17 years.
I like to say a couple years.
Oh, okay, after a couple years.
Yeah.
So Super Troopers 2, does it take place like pretty much immediately following Super Troopers, or where are we at in like a timeline?
Well, we don't specifically say like any years. We just kind of play it off as it's been several years later or a couple years later.
Okay.
We tried to get back in shape to be the same fighting shape that we were when we shot the original. So we may look a little bit older, but we didn't want to be fatter and older.
Oh, okay. Like, right? Especially since...
So Jay wouldn't roll the cameras until we were all the exact same weight that we were the first one.
Well, I was going to say, well, you know, especially because, you know, in between the two, y'all did Beer Fest, which...
Right. We did Club Dread, Beer Fest, Slam and Salmon, and then a live national tour.
Yeah. So, and...
We were busy.
Yeah, you guys have been very busy. And, you know, Beer Fest, I freaking watched that not too long ago as well, because I was like, oh, have to. And
That'll make you thirsty.
Oh, my God, it did. One, because... I've been to Oktoberfest a couple times because I was stationed in Germany, and like honestly, it just made me miss it so much. I was like, God, I need German beer.
So fun, right?
Oh.
I'm hoping to go this fall. Never been to Oktoberfest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doing this little thing where I'm signing up. My wife and I will go on a tour with anyone that wants to come with us.
Oh my God.
So if we can get people to sign up on this tour, and we'll go with our some fans.
Oh my God.
That's legit.
I have to go.
You got to come.
It's so much fun.
I'm posting information on my website, on my social media stuff, like Erik Stolhanske Facebook or Erik Stolhanske Instagram. And it's up there. It's probably buried deep now because I've been promoting Super Troopers 2.
Yeah.
But I'll post stuff again that has the information about that trip to Oktoberfest this year.
Oh my God. It's
fun, right?
It's so much fun. Okay, so there's the big one. Like, I'll give you some like insider tips.
Yeah. Tell me what not to do. Or what to do.
Okay,
Both.
one, you have to dress up.
Okay.
You have to in lederhosen. You have to. Your wife has to wear a drundle. Has to.
I love that idea. Sure.
If you don't, you're the only people who don't dress up.
Right.
Everyone dresses up, so that's like a must. So there's the big Oktoberfest, which is in Munich, right? But then you've got little smaller ones in other big cities. So there's one in Stuttgart that's a lot of fun as well. But so the tents, which is where everything really happens, there's a morning crew and an afternoon crew, or like shift, if you will. And so you buy tickets to get into the tents, and it's literally, you drink all day. So you have to pace yourself. You have to eat, because you don't want to end up like on the side of a hill like that one random drunk dude who can't fucking handle his alcohol. But they've got like, so you either like drink in the morning and then just spend the rest of the day going to different beer gardens and to different like fun houses and whatnot. And they've got like carny rides everywhere. It's so much fun.
I love carnies.
Oh, it's amazing. And they're German carnies.
So much better.
They are.
All Germans carnies? I shouldn't say that because I'm going there.
It's so much better. But yeah, so you get just like hammered drunk, right? And then you go through these fun houses. And this one that I went to in Munich, you had to put on these like glasses that distorted light. Oh my God. So we're trying to walk through this fun house and we can't really see as it is, but then we've got these little glasses on, and then they put us through this tunnel, which is spinning with all these laser lights coming out of everywhere. So then you really can't see. So like you have to like crawl through it. And it's just,
wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it fucks with your head, but it's so much fun.
I can't wait. I hope I can get enough people to sign up to go with me.
I hope so. I'm definitely going to.
You have to. It'll be a blast.
Right? Yeah, I think so. But okay, so back to Super Troopers 2. So what is the premise of Super Troopers 2? Like the.
All right, so yeah, 7
give
days
me an
away.
outline.
The premise of Super Troopers 2 is basically after 9/11, which we read a story about or heard a story about this. The United States reassessed the borders, because, there's a lot of talk about borders these days. Mm-hmm. And after 9/11, they reassessed the borders and they found out there were some markers that were off. Oh. And we may have fudged a little bit, might have just been off by a little bit. But we imagined that what if the markers were off above Vermont enough so that it kind of swallowed in a whole French-Canadian town. So then that town was now American. And that new area would need a police force to patrol that area and then enforce American laws in that area to some French Canadians that do not want to become Americans. So they're very hostile. So we basically become an occupying force to a French Canadian town that has just become American.
That sounds amazing.
And we have to share jurisdiction with the Mounties.
Yes.
And it's a ton of fun. Ton of fun. Rob Lowe is the mayor of the French Canadian town.
Really?
Yes. Former minor league hockey player.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. He's great. He's very funny. He just saw it the other day at the LA premiere and he loved it.
That's amazing. So is it everyone from like the original cast? Like,
yep, we got
back
all 5
together?
Broken Lizard guys, Brian Cox, Linda Carter, and then we added Rob Lowe, Will Sasso, Tyler Labine, Emmanuel Shrieky from Entourage, some very fun, because they're all Canadian. We wanted to have some real Canadians in the movie. And they're all
you
real
need
Canadians.
To, right? You need to have like the real Canucks in there.
Totally. Well, that way, when the Canadians get upset, we can blame them.
Right? Exactly. Be like, hey, we had authentic Canadians in there. You can't get mad at us.
Yeah, they're Canadians. You can't get mad at us.
They thought it was great.
In Toronto, and they were psyched. They loved it. So. They give crap to us as Americans as much as we Americans make fun of the Canadians. So we give as much as we get.
That definitely, it's not just between the U.S. and the Canadians, though, who do that. It's literally the U.S. versus literally everyone. Like, we give crap to everyone. They give crap to us. It's actually really fun.
It's like, you got to patrol areas, and you guys must have experienced stories like that, right?
Yeah, I was on a fob with Italians when I was in Afghanistan, and it sucked because like they were allowed to drink and we were not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why could they drink and you guys couldn't?
Because the American troops have this fun little thing called General Order Number 1, which means no alcohol, no sex. Like you have to, yeah. Oh yeah, no, it sucks.
It didn't stop me, but all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't stop anybody.
And Italian troops could. It had nothing to do with
Yeah.
the laws in Afghanistan, but it was just
Nope.
each country enforced that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The Aussies in Iraq had beer rations.
Mm-hmm.
Aussies what?
Aussies have beer rations, and so do the British
Okay.
when they're deployed. Yeah. So it's you learn to make friends with people from different countries, so you can get your alcohol. So okay. So I saw the trailer of you at like a pet store, looking at rabbits, or were they guinea pigs?
Right. I go to the pet store to try to come down from something that I did.
Oh.
Without having to give too much away, I go to calm myself down at the pet store.
Interesting.
Yeah. It should be intriguing, but not giving everything away.
Right? Oh.
Right.
I'm so excited for this movie. Like.
I've been waiting like she's like almost like a decade now for this thing, so I can't wait.
Yeah. Like.
Well, so far it's been getting overwhelmingly positive reviews, so I think you're gonna dig it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great.
So, what was the? I guess you could almost call it like the holdup in getting Super Troopers 2 out there, and like
why
just
did it take so
writing the
long to make?
script.
Or why did it take so long to make the sequel per se?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we could have made like right after Super Troopers, we could have gone straight into a sequel, but. We always wanted to kind of be like Monty Python was kind of like our ultimate sort of role models.
Yes.
And they made a bunch of different movies.
Mm-hmm.
Had we made a sequel right away, it would have been more in like the Police Academy franchise where they made like 6 just back to back. And I think they're really funny. I'm not trying to put it down, but we wanted to try to make different movies.
Okay.
And so then we made Club Dread and Beer Fast and Slam and Salmon. And then, I don't know, people were asking all the time if there's going to be a sequel. So we felt like it was the right time to put the uniforms back on, grow the mustaches. Well, I haven't grown mine, but the other guys did, and reassume those, assume those characters again. It was a ton of fun. It's a ton to revisit them.
That's awesome. Friggin'.
Yeah, it took a while. We went to the studio and said we wanted to make it, and they said, "Well, great. Well, why don't you find the money for it and go make it?" And they said, "We'll put it out in theaters across the country, but after so many years, it probably would have been a better business decision if we had gone straight into making a sequel right afterwards. But having a background in sketch comedy, wanted to make different movies.
Yeah.
The studio just wasn't sure after all these years the fans were still there for the original Super Troopers. So to get the money, we had to turn to crowdfunding.
Like Super Troopers.
It took a little while to raise the money.
Yeah, Super Troopers has literally like a cult following.
Well, we were blown out of the way when we went to crowdfunding, and 54,000 people helped contribute to help make the movie, which blew our minds, which is incredible. So grateful.
It really is. You guys really do have a cult following. One of our staff members actually, who's on our social media team, he became a military policeman because of watching Super Troopers.
And then he became a policeman. He's like, wait a minute, I don't get to play these games. I'm told I can't do this stuff. Wait a minute.
But like this movie, which I'm sure just came off as like just like a sketch of just like police are fucking stupid. Like, let's see how stupid we can make it look. It's affected, like, especially the younger generations who were probably just kids when they watched it, and they're like, oh, I want to be a cop. This looks like fun. I get to fuck a bear.
Well, first of all, we never ever wanted to portray cops as being stupid, because that wasn't our intention at all. We imagined that cops are just like us, and that they have these long stretch of highways to patrol, and there's like so much time on their hands, and they're all good friends and hang out, and their downtime. And we imagine like they must have good sense of humor as well, that they could play, games on speeders to entertain themselves on those long stretches of highways. So our intention was never to ever portray that they were like dumb. It was to really show that they're human.
Yeah. And I think you did an absolutely amazing job at that. I have a brother who is a retired police officer who I went on a ride along with him, and I was like bored out of my mind. I was like, can we just pull people over just for the shit, like the fun of it, like just fuck with them? And he's like, technically we can't. And I'm like, well, damn it.
I've heard of some good games, but I have heard you can't,
Yeah.
pull off as easily these days as you used to be able to.
Yeah, right. Everyone's got a cell phone, so
We did get a video once from an Iraqi checkpoint where some of the Americans, or maybe let's say they're Australians, for sake of, for fun, that they were doing the meow game at an Iraqi checkpoint, which is pretty hysterical.
That's epic.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But I have a feeling the Iraqis had no clue what they were saying.
No, not at all. No. But
they
that's
just entertain themselves, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. And like every so often, even people who aren't like MPs will do that. Like, what are you doing right, meow? And like it'll just get going. Especially on like unsuspecting people where you're like, yes, like let's see how many times we can get this going.
I've heard a couple military guys saying like they'll only do it at like 3 a.m, and if someone comes on through base and maybe they've had some drinks.
Yeah.
So then they think, well, he won't remember in the morning if I try to say meow.
Yeah, no, I've had it happen to me, and I'm like, wait, what?
Do you say meow?
Right? Did you just say meow?
No, no, of course not. I didn't say meow. What are you talking about? No.
I still do it through drive-thrus.
Drive-thrus like fast food?
Yeah. I'll be going through and I'll be like, can I get a meow, some, number 2 meow?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a number 2 meow. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You say meow? No, I'd say meow.
Nope, not me.
No, I would never do that.
but no, I just, how long did it take to film? Because I'm pretty sure you guys are probably cracking each other up the entire time. Especially when all of you were together.
It was kind of fun. It took a while because we had to raise some money. We shot part of it, and then we had to go raise more money. We had to go back the next year and shoot again. Then we edited it, got some notes back, and we shot, another day after that. So we shot over the course of like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not the traditional way to make a movie, but because we crowdfunded it and had to raise money ourselves, it took a long time.
Wow.
Shocking. Yeah, it was amazing how long it took. But it's ready. It's 7 days away. So
I'm so ready.
Are you getting excited for that?
I'm nervous. You hear fans are out there or people on the street say, "Hey, when are you make the movie?" But you never know if they'll show up in the movie theater.
Mm.
Everyone wants to see the Avengers or Iron Man. So a smaller budget comedy. You just don't know if people actually go to the theater. So we're really hoping our fans will go to the theater so we can show the studio that we have support. So that might unlock the doors to make any future comedies.
Yeah.
Were you able to, like you said, it's been 17 years. After 17 years, how hard was it to really get back into that role? And, you sit there and said, okay, yeah, you had to go do the exercise and everything. And then you had to keep that for 3 years. How hard was that?
It was tough. I look at when I'm watching it to see what year, what scene was shot during which year, somehow we kind of maintain that continuity. I'd be curious after you guys see it to try to guess like what years the different scenes were in, because you see it and it's only like 90 minutes long. So it seems like it was all shot at one time, but it was shot over the course of several years. Somehow we maintain the same weight and kind of the same look.
Were you thinking, making sure that things like TV screens and stuff were kept away so you wouldn't date it?
I guess there's nothing that really. The only thing we have is Hockey Night in Canada, but that's pretty universal, timeless thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing really with any sort of date is in it.
And one of our fan people are asking, did Marissa Coughlin manage to make it back in?
Yeah, yes, briefly. There's a new leading woman named Emmanuel Shrieky. But, we felt like, it's always this balancing act of what do you have from the old movie, what do you have from the new movie. But we definitely wanted to have that nod to Foster and Ursula. So Maurice is in it, but briefly.
Okay. And for one of our fan boy girls, got the time. If you can, while you're talking, throw in some meows so that he'll have a good smile, please.
I'll try to sneak a couple in on the rest of the interview. We had a little go at it for a second.
We did.
Yeah, meow.
All right, so I have a question for you from one of our fellow associates here at the station. I'm supposed to ask you, can you chug maple syrup?
Right now for you guys?
No, like just in general.
Well, we've been on a promotional tour now for the last 3 weeks, and there's rarely a city that we go to that someone doesn't want to chug maple syrup, especially when we're in Canada.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so there has been quite a bit of maple syrup chugging over the last several weeks.
Okay, follow-up question.
I can't say I'm excited about it, but...
So follow-up question to that is, do you cradle the balls when you chug the maple syrup?
Well, Meow, you can't really chug maple syrup without cupping the balls. If you want to do it properly.
That's amazing.
So you're managing to keep in your role.
That's good. So I need you to think back to 17 years ago when y'all were first doing Super Troopers. Was it difficult for you to get into the role of Rabbit, initially?
I would say of all the movies that we made, Rabbit's probably the closest to who I am. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty easy for me. I'm from Minnesota. Kind of have an earnest boy next door thing about me. I guess of all the movies that we shot, I think each role that we play in Super Troopers is closest to all of us, including Farva.
Oh.
We always like to give Kevin shit for that, but can I say that on this program?
Oh yeah. No, you can swear.
Okay.
Do whatever.
Kevin, you basically just have to have him grow a mustache, throw a piece of gum in his mouth, and he turns right into Farva.
Oh.
Oh.
We won't tell him.
That's like me. All I need is a riding tractor and a beer in my hand, and I turn straight into a hillbilly again.
He does.
So yeah. I didn't have much trouble getting into Rabbit. I liked it. It was fun.
It's awesome.
Fun to visit it. Yeah.
Pookie.
Weed Fest.
Oh.
Will we make Weed Fest? Is that the question?
Yes.
I think in a roundabout way that was a question, but it was just like a word.
Weed Fest.
Yes, yeah. I'm curious. I'm like, that's another one I've been waiting for forever, and I'm just wondering.
Sure. No, the question we get asked the most. Well, one I get asked the most was a real maple syrup, and then the second question is, when are you guys gonna make Weed Fest? And the fun thing is, tomorrow Jay and I are flying out to Peoria, Illinois, to go to the Willie Nelson concert.
Oh yeah.
And we do this little stunt where he begins to sing the song, Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When You Die. And then we come out in our police uniform, we frisk them, and we find a bag of weed on them, and we pull up and hold out the audience, and they go crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're friends with Willie, and he always likes us to do this stunt with him. So he keeps saying, you better hurry up, man. I ain't got much time left. When are we going to make Weed Fest?
Yeah.
We want to. Willie wants to. Snoop wants to. We've gotten incoming calls from 50 Cent, Method Man. We have a lot of interest. Cheech and Chong. So it's more of a, we're hoping that people will go to the movie theater on 420, and if we can prove that we have an audience, hopefully that will unlock some more opportunities in the future. So.
Okay. As far as getting into more producers or studios who would be willing to back you up instead of doing a crowdfunded.
Yeah, Warner Brothers owns the intellectual property to Beer Fest, so we can't just go make it without the permission of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So they would only be interested if they knew that we had an audience. So that's why we say to people, like, if you want to see any more Broken Lizard comedies, that you really have to go to Super Troopers 2 when it comes out in theaters on April 20th.
Okay.
I was about to say, audience, if you're listening, go watch the movie.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see Weed Fest.
Yeah, if you guys want Podfest, even if you hate Super Troopers 2, but you only want Podfest, you still will have to go see the theater on April 20th and watch Super Troopers, or at least buy the ticket for it.
Right?
You don't have to
Buy the
watch it
ticket.
if
You
you
don't have to actually go and watch it.
Right. Just buy a ticket for Podfest, basically.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Super Troopers 2 is you don't have to even like Super Troopers 1 or even have seen Super Troopers 1 to still like Super Troopers 2. It's a plot and a story that stands on its own.
Nice.
I was going to ask that, is it a standalone or does it sequel in hard?
No, it's pretty much a standalone. We tried to create our own story. We thought like Law and Order has like 250 episodes. So we just created a brand new story, brand new plot. And then we went back and we kind of painted in some homages to the first film, but we didn't want to make the same movie. And so we have, different bad guys and a different lead female. So yeah, it's its own story, which you can completely see for the first time without having to see the first one. But if you saw the first one, you're going to get several more jokes.
That's awesome.
But,
Did you do some run-alongs so that those who are repeating get that, yeah, man.
Yeah. Like a liter of cola. Like, you'll still appreciate the joke in the new one, but you get the reference of a liter of cola from the first movie.
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah. No, it absolutely totally makes sense. Please tell me, I can't remember his name, but the one dude, does he scream out again, like, good enough to fuck your mother? Like, honestly, it's one of the best lines in, like, cinema history.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't yell that exact line. But I'm sure if you, hit him up on social media, you could probably get him to yell that to you.
Right. Be like, hey, how you feeling?
Good enough to fuck your mother.
Yeah.
So it went like that, right? Kind of something like that?
Yeah. My night's been made.
Here's what something kind of cool that Fox is doing on 4/19, the day before 4/20, when the movie opens. They are showing a double header, Super Troopers 2, in 1,000 theaters across the country.
Really?
Yeah, starting at 4/20 on 4/19.
Where?
It's only like $5 extra, so you can pay for Super Troopers 2 and $5 extra. You get the first movie and the second movie back to back.
Where do we find this information? Like, as far as like which theaters?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Right now, the hard questions.
Probably maybe look on like BrokenLizard.com.
Okay.
Or maybe Fandango or Google double header Super Troopers 2.
Okay. Oh my God! I hope there's one near me.
That'd be fun.
Because I'll do it. Yeah.
Doing that.
Oh, I totally will. I'll be like, oh my God, yes! And then I'll have to like find people to go with, or fuck it, I'll go by myself. I don't care. Right? I'll be that friendless loser in the movie theater by myself. Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Damn it, I do that all the time.
You gotta be some friends that would go to that with you. It's a fun day.
Yeah, I know. But it's just if they're free. So, there's that.
So what else is going on, guys?
Not a lot. I don't know. Like, I'm still just kind of like trying to calm down from like talking to you.
She's been talking about this all week long.
No, like,
you have to understand.
I don't think nobody understands is that okay, so I'm like the assistant station manager, right? So I've known that we've been trying to get you to come on as a guest since like late February, early March. And I haven't been able to like really express my excitement, like, oh my God, he might come on. Like, we don't know. Like, we got to figure out his schedule. Like, oh my God. And then like when it was confirmed that you were coming on, I was like, oh my God. And then like now I'm just like completely like blown away.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here we are.
On a Friday night.
If he was going to be able to carry on a conversation with you.
Any questions? Fire away. I'm ready.
Right?
I'm ready.
Oh goodness.
She was actually hoping you would come on and give her what was that line you wanted him to say?
He already said it. It's fine, which is why I said like, mine has been made.
Well, what I mean, in other words, make it so that it stands alone so that you can really have it at somewhere in your announcement.
No, it's good. He did it. He said, good enough to fuck your mother. It's like, yep, night's made. But it's not even like his line. So like, I wouldn't expect him to like, to say it. So it's, but
yeah, Mac to do if you really want it.
I know, right? But no, oh my gosh, like I don't, like I'm still just so, I don't know. I guess starstruck, really, honestly.
No need to be.
I know, like, because you're a super, like, down-to-earth person, and this is amazing.
Well, I'm grateful for everything you guys do. I'm excited to talk to you guys. I think it's great. I love the military.
So, have you ever done any, like, USO tours or, like, gone around to different bases with, like, your comedy and doing, like, stand-up at different bases?
We haven't done stand-up per se, but we've visited like Walter Reed. I've been to Brooke Army Medical. I do a lot of work with WWP. Yeah, I love doing the work with military. I've gone with the Broken Lizard guys to Walter Reed. I've been to Walter Reed by myself. I have a prosthetic leg myself. I was raised on a wooden leg, so I don't know. I love going to the hospital and visiting guys and just talking to them and just sharing stories.
Wait, you have a prosthetic leg?
I do.
I did not know that.
I do.
See, I'm not like an obsessive fangirl, so.
I was born without a fibula, so I was raised on a prosthetic right leg. Wood. Back in the day, it was wooden. Now it's all cool and carbon graphite and cheetah. But yeah, big technologies. A lot of technology leaps.
Right?
Last 20 years.
Friggin', would that be something that you would ever consider doing? Like actually putting on through Broken Lizard, like would you guys ever consider putting on actual like comedy shows at bases where like the soldiers and their families could come and just watch you?
Yeah, we've tried many, many times. I don't know. I feel like the USO has always turned us down because I know that what I've been told, I think through Steve, was that we're not family friendly. I think they're afraid because we make rated R movies that we wouldn't, I don't know. I mean, we feel like we have a lot of followers, a lot of fans in the military. Yeah. So we've always wanted to do a USO show, but they've never brought us on to do it. We've expressed interest.
It's really crazy. Interesting because, like they'll bring people out who have done rated R stuff. You know? Yeah, I mean, if you look at, Robin Williams for prime example, like, rest in peace. But he's done rated R movies, like, and comedies as well, but yet he's done tours and, like, has gone overseas and actually performed stand-up for troops.
I wonder why they are opposed to having us come out.
I know, that's really weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, but, then they get a lot of different comedians who go and like some of them where you're like, oh, okay, or like some people where you're like, who the fuck is this person? But so I don't know why they wouldn't, especially because like you guys really do, like you're the whole Broken Lizard, just I guess community, I guess, of like all like the handful of you guys. You guys have such a huge following with the military, and everyone loves Super Troopers, everyone loves Beer Fest, like everyone loves all your guys' movies.
Yeah, we'd be honored to do it. I've been, I know we've tried. We just have never. Whoever's charge of actually pulling the trigger, making the ultimate decision, has never brought us over. But if you know who to talk to, tell them where we do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to like get in touch with like actual like installation commanders and stuff.
Commanders, I like that. Get a hold of the commanders.
Right? Yeah, I know people.
Know some people, yeah, I love it. Where were you?
Yeah.
Germany or
So I did 10 years. So I was stationed in Georgia, California, and Germany, and then I deployed to Afghanistan. So
if we did a USO tour, you think they'd send us over to Afghanistan?
they might. If anything, they'd send you to like Kandahar or like some of the bigger bases like Bagram, but like not to the smaller FOBs.
It'd be cool. Like, what if after the movie came out after 420, if they sent us over with a screening of the new movie?
Oh, that'd be awesome!
That would be super cool.
We have to like somehow make this happen because I know people out there are gonna want to see it because like that's one of the movies like a lot of us would get around and then be like, hey, you want to watch a movie tonight? Sure. What do you want to watch? Super Troopers. All right. And so
you should have USO people in USO talk to Fox and see if they would send us over with Super Troopers 2. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, that would be an amazing idea, and I know that would definitely boost morale.
That'd be great.
Definitely.
Cool.
Oh my God. Yes.
Talk to the commanders.
Yeah.
On that, Minx.
Or not even the commanders. You have to talk to the sergeant majors because the sergeant majors are actually the ones that get anything done. They like whisper to the commanders like, no, you should do this. And then the commanders are like, yeah, I should do this.
What about General Mattis?
Oh! Granddaddy Mattis!
You must know General Mattis.
Personally, no, I don't. But oh my
man.
God, he looks
He would
like
love us. He would love us.
oh my God, yes. He looks like a total grandpa though. And like, so I've actually met General Dempsey a couple times, and I may have almost called him like Papa Dempsey because like he gives off just this whole demeanor of like just this grandpa, but then you look at his ribbon rack and it's stacked and you're like, I know you've killed someone in like hand-to-hand combat, but you're a total grandpa. Like,
grandpas are tough.
they are.
What about HR? HR would definitely have seen the first one, I think.
Oh yeah.
He seems like a guy who would have loved the first one. HR, if you're watching this,
Right? If you are.
plus, give us a call. Call Broken Lizard HR.
That's awesome.
This is totally happening, I can tell.
Yes, no, it needs
I feel
to
good
happen.
about it.
So how'd you come up with Broken Lizard?
There's a night gone wrong in Tijuana.
Oh.
Or right, depending on how you look at life.
Oh no. There's a story behind this. Are you able to tell the story right now, or are there witnesses?
I could never say it on Skype.
Oh.
That's permanent stuff.
Right? The government's listening.
If anyone has been through Camp Pendleton and you know it's so close to the Mexican border, you know what I'm talking about.
Right?
You've been there.
I mean, I may have lived around there.
Did you ever? Were you at Pendleton or were you down in San Diego?
I was stationed actually at Irwin, which is in the middle of the Mojave. It's like in between LA and Vegas.
Did you ever go down to south of the border?
No. No,
But you get in some trouble in the desert.
I'm white and I don't speak Spanish.
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You say that, but then I'm like number one, like kidnap.
It's like a hangover. Then you don't know what happened the night before. You got to try to piece it together the next day.
It would make for an interesting movie, though.
Definitely. Did you spend a lot of time in Vegas?
A little bit, yeah. It was fun. I was in my mid-20s when I was stationed there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Raised some hell.
You know what I'm talking about.
A little.
I banned myself permanently from Vegas.
Yeah.
What,
were you stationed anywhere near 29 Palms? Was it kind of in that same area?
So in 29 Palms is a Marine base, And,
but was it close at all, or kind of close, or?
Is a couple hours away, so
Okay,
you know, relatively close.
Relatively, right.
Yeah, you know,
Same
I didn't need
terrain.
a plane. What?
Same kind of terrain, same temperature?
Yeah, definitely desert.
Yeah.
But yeah, friggin' but yeah, no, I was asked to ask you, tell us about Broken Lizard.
What about like how we got formed and who we are?
I guess, yeah. It was just a random question, like, tell us about Broken Lizard. All right.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people don't know, that we're a 5-man comedy group, and we always wanted to be like Monty Python. We're 5 guys who have known each other since we were teenagers. We went to college together, and while we were in college, formed a sketch comedy group. And I had this vision that, I don't know if we did at the time, but it sort of turned into wanting to be Monty Python, and there's 5 of us, and Super Troopers 2 is going to be our 6th movie we've made together. So in addition to touring the country doing live shows, this will be our 6th movie, which is sort of Broken Lizard in a capsule.
What was your favorite part about shooting the sequel?
Well, we had a live bear on set.
What?
Which was like 1,700 pounds and 8 feet tall.
Okay,
I made sweet love to it.
All right, so like not the stuffed animal one that you made sweet love to in the first one.
Yeah, my mom called it making out with the bear.
But like an actual live grizzly.
Yeah, for real.
Like, did you have to get up right behind it, or was it somebody else?
Wait a minute. No, wait. Did I say that right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to give away trade secrets. You have to come check it out.
I need
Watch
to know.
the movie.
I will say there's a live bear in Super Troopers 2.
Oh, and not just the dummy that you're pretending to make out with.
Yeah, right, not the Halloween costume that I had in Super Troopers 1. A real live bear in Super Troopers 2. That was probably the most exciting part.
So in Super Troopers 1, was that like the most awkward scene to really film? Was you like pretending to bang this fake bear?
It was exhausting. It was fun to shoot, but it was really tiring. When you shoot, you got to do over and over again, the camera and focus and different angles, and like, I'm just pumping away like an hour. It was one of the most exhausting aerobic workouts I've ever done. That could be like a great new addition to the military exercises, as you have to do the bear fucker is what they would call it, right? And it would just be a lot of pelvis thrusts. It'd be a great core workout.
It would. It sounds like it would be amazing.
It's more fun than a burpee.
Burpees suck.
Burpees suck, right? Bear humping is fun. So it's a great workout and you get some laughs out of it. Who do I talk to? Give me HR.
Right? Yeah. Probably Granddaddy Mattis.
Yeah, Mattis or HR.
Yeah. We got a new exercise for the
Kelly's
troops.
got his hands full, but he's probably watching this too.
Right? But, oh my gosh. Erik, if you could please do us a quick favor.
Sure.
I would fully appreciate it if you were to say the following sentence.
Okay.
This is Erik Stolhanske, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
This is Erik Stolhanske, and you're listening to WTF Radio.
Almost. You forgot Nation Radio.
This is Erik Stolhanske, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Perfect! I love it. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We're going to use that now as like a promotion thing.
You want to hear it a couple different ways?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
This is Erik Stolhanske, and you are listening to WTF Nation Radio. Which one you like better?
I think I like the first. The second one definitely has a lot more character to it, but I think the first one is more you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Thank you so much, Erik. thank you so much for coming on. I don't have any more questions. Pookie, Al, do you guys have any more questions for our amazing guest?
Yeah, what's your favorite Monty Python movie, man?
Oh.
Could you repeat that? I'm having trouble with hearing a little bit.
What's your favorite Monty Python movie?
Oh, favorite Monty Python movie. Wow, can I answer all of them?
Oh, that's a good answer.
I would probably say The Holy Grail and Brian are both pretty dynamite.
Yeah. Holy Grail's my favorite, like hands down.
Hands down. You love it.
I do. Oh
way
my God.
more than Life of Brian.
I love. I do. I love Holy Grail. Like that was. It's the first one I've seen, and it's held this standard for me that like the others haven't really come up to. Like the dry British humor out of like the Holy Grail, is just amazing.
It is a movie that no one comedically will ever touch.
No, not at all.
There's not a comedy film that will ever touch that movie.
And it's awesome because every time you watch it, you catch something new where you're like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And I like just the wit behind it, especially like, you know, your mother's a hamster and your father smells of elderberries. And it's like, oh,
yeah, amazing.
Like you have to be smart to realize he just called your mom a whore and your dad a drunk.
Your mom smells like hamsters. Yeah.
Now go away or we shall taunt you a second time.
I fought in your general direction.
She's a flesh wound.
Right? Oh my God. Holy Grail is hands down. It's
genius.
my favorite.
Genius.
Yes.
It's funny too, like you see an interview with Cleese and, you know, they talk about how they had no money and they're shooting in this castle. They only were allowed to shoot in like one castle and it was raining the whole time. The weather was terrible and they were like cold and miserable and they had no money, so they had to bang coconut shells together to sound like a horse.
Right.
They said it sucks shooting it, it's like terrible conditions, but God, the funniest movie ever.
Right? It really is. Like the
funniest fucking movie.
The fucking coconuts. A 5-ounce bird cannot carry a 5-pound coconut.
The cast of virgins, the killer rabbit.
Yes.
So every scene is amazing.
Mhm. And then just
what do you think of the ending?
You mean just how it ends?
Yeah, I guess if there's ever a critique of it, it's the ending, but I still love it.
It's so out of nowhere where you're just like, what's happening? And then it ends and you're like, oh, okay. What? But at the same time, it's funny.
It's fucking genius.
It is. Right?
Genius.
It's almost like they didn't know how to end it, so they're like,
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
it, we're just gonna end it. Bring the
What is
cops
that
in.
movie? Yeah. Which is genius.
It really is. Freaking Alex, do you have any more questions?
Well, yeah, kind of to understand you a little bit more. You talk about enjoying Monty Python. Okay, in college, everybody. I don't know how old you are, but I used to watch everybody trying to reenact. How often did you try to reenact Monty Python?
Oh, man. Well, all the guys that I work with, we were all pals in college, and Jay and I were roommates, and we would watch Python over and over and over again. We used to watch Holy Grail, Life of Brian a lot. I don't know, 100 times? If I had to quantify it? All the time.
And see, it's hard for some people to understand. Monty Python was so groundbreaking, and it used to be it would come on PBS back when there was only so many channels, and it's kind of fun to think about, and that's what you fashion yourself after. Who do you yourself think you are closest to out of the group?
Of those guys? Well, I never thought about that. It's a good question. I don't know if I could touch any of them. They're at a level I could never touch. I just try to do what I got, but I don't know. Who would I guess I could say? I don't know. I mean, I love them all. I was trying to think if there's anyone that I like more than anyone else. I mean, the thing I like is Gilliam is actually from Minnesota, and I'm from Minnesota, so I like that fact. He's very different than I think what I would say I'm like, but I mean, I love Michael Palin. Like even like going back and seeing like A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah.
Still love seeing like John Cleese and Michael Palin in like a Hollywood film. I don't know. I love them all. I love them all. They're great.
Well, and that's we can talk about your movie, but sometimes it's also nice to just understand you a little bit because you're as one of the characters. It's nice to be able to understand you a little bit with the movie, and the fact that you put together
we had
this
a lot of
group
comic
and trying to
influences
carry it
growing up.
forward.
I mean, we grew up in that era of Fletch, Animal House, Caddyshack. I think Caddyshack was a big influence. Slapshot. Those are some of our influences, in addition to Monty Python, but. Obviously, like our American sensibility is very different than Monty Python, so we probably were a little more closer to like Animal House, Smoking the Bandit, Slapshot, kind of 48 Hours, kind of those masculine, tough, realistic comedies.
Mm-hmm.
Like 48 Hours was so great because Eddie Murphy was so funny, but it was like a cop comedy, but a real. Like there was a crime that they had to solve. And so I think we kind of modeled ourselves after that.
That's all I had.
Well, I like that question. Thanks, man.
Right? Just think, Eric, one day someone's going to be like, I want to model myself after Erik Stolhanske.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but...
I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure.
They become cops, real cops. I have had a couple, when we were shooting Super Troopers 2 at Boston, we shot outside of Boston. And a guy said, I joined the Highway Patrol because of you guys.
Are you serious?
Yeah, pretty wild, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then he punched me in the face.
Oh. It seems a bit extreme and like a bit overreactive.
I always imagine they see the movie and then they think it's fun. And then they join the force, but then realize that they can't play any of those games. And they're like, damn it, I thought this was supposed to be fun.
Damn it. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I had an amazing time. Freaking everyone, Super Troopers 2 comes out next Friday, 4/20, in theaters everywhere across the nation. So make sure you go check it out. If we don't, get enough ticket sales for Super Troopers 2, then we won't get a Weed Fest.
Yeah, or Super Troopers 3, which you start outlining.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, there's already a works for Super Troopers 3?
Yeah, Jay wants to do Super Troopers 3 Winter Soldiers. But he hasn't quite persuaded the rest of us that it would be enjoyable whatsoever to shoot in the wintertime.
Oh, yeah, no, that would suck. I hate
it would
cold
look
weather.
Cool, but it'd be cold.
You're from Minnesota. You should be
I would dig it. I would do it.
I was going to say, you should be used to that. I live in Texas. Like, it's cold if it's under 70 degrees. And I'm like, no, I need my hoodie.
It's true. Yeah, Kevin and Steve and Paul are kind of the ones that don't want to do it. Jay's from Chicago. I'm from Minnesota. So we would be happy shooting a winter movie.
Right, yeah. Because you're like, oh, this is home.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, before we sign off, can I say how grateful I am for everyone for their service?
Oh, of course. Yes.
I love it. I love everyone who has, done what you guys do. So grateful.
Thank you. Like,
you're welcome. Thank you.
Like, I don't know. Like, I always get uncomfortable when people say, oh, thank you for your service, because I feel almost like arrogant if I'm like, oh, you're welcome. Like, yeah, you're welcome for my service, because that's not who I am. So I'm just like, oh, thanks for thanking me. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, I got a lot of friends that, serve, and I always say, is that a bad thing to say? And, usually they say, no, it's cool. It's fine if you say thanks.
Yeah, no.
So I hope that's cool. I don't know. I don't want to be awkward or.
No. You're absolutely fine. Like, we definitely do appreciate it. Especially with, we've got, the tides are kind of turning to where, we're not being as appreciated as much as we were before. I mean, you know, but I mean, if you look at it though, like especially right after 9/11, and you know, for at least a decade after that, it was all, you know, like support the troops, and then here recently it's been kind of on like this decline, and where especially the younger generation doesn't think that we're a necessity or that we are like doing a good thing. So hearing it's very appreciated. It's just like me personally, I never know how to respond because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So that's just me.
Well,
but yeah, no,
incredibly appreciative.
We appreciate that, you know, you guys appreciate us. Like we do.
We really do.
So yeah, Eric, thank you so much for coming on. I had such an amazing time with you tonight. Everyone, check out Super Troopers 2. And we're going to go on break right now. And Eric, if you just hold tight while we go to break. And yeah, we'll be back here in a couple minutes for part 3 of Friday Night Freedom and Shots.
Shots.
Great. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wished you could.
a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media portray me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Welcome back to the third and final hour of Friday Night Freedom. I'm your host, Minx. Oh my god, you guys.
Oh my god.
We just had Erik Stolhanske on.
Yeah.
We did. I'm like slowly like coming down from this like high.
Yeah, your voice is finally coming down an octave.
Right? It is. Like, I'm pretty sure dogs were able to hear me during the last hour. Like, my German Shepherd is over here on the floor, and he's, like, finally calmed down a bit. It's storming here, though, so I was so afraid that, like, my internet was gonna go out. I was like, oh my god, this would suck. But luckily, it didn't. At least yet, anyways. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's storming like a motherfucker out here. It's ridiculous.
Texas weather for you.
Dude, seriously. Oh, speaking of ridiculous, breaking news, everybody. We're bombing the shit out of Syria right now with the UK and France. Like, legit, this is happening right now as we speak. And, like, during the last little bit, too. So, there's that.
Yeah. Over the last hour, this shit's been going down, man.
I'm thinking it's in retaliation to the chemical bombs or the chemical weapons that Assad used not that long ago against his own people.
It was, like, 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. But, like, me looking at it, I don't know. I don't believe the whole chemical attack really happened. I think it was a fake.
You don't, but they found evidence of it.
I was hearing from multiple other sources other than our mainstream media that they were faked. But Russia runs its own propaganda campaign, so I mean, I might have been getting that old Russian propaganda shit. So I don't know, but honestly, Assad had everything going with him at that moment. He just won a big victory against ISIS. The rebels, quote unquote. He won a big victory. Why would he chemically attack people out of the blue? Makes no sense to me.
See, I don't. I haven't been keeping up. So I've been bad, and I have not been keeping up with the whole situation in Syria as of recently because, again, it hasn't really. You have to go searching for any news on Syria right now, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the only news source that really covers Syria is BBC.
So
I used to have Al Jazeera, which I could tune into every now and then, but that's not on most American providers anymore.
Yeah. But okay, so I know the situation in Syria is kind of a shitstorm just brewing. And whether or not it has finally hit the fan is a different, it's a different topic or question. But I do know that, all right, so it's Syria in the fact that, it's Assad, right? And his regime who's paired with Russia to strike down the rebels or the people who are wanting a Syrian revolution, who are not only backed by the US and the UK and France and the UN, but who are also backed by ISIS.
I don't know. Do you see what happened in Libya when the U.S. backed regime change? What happened?
I mean, besides Gaddafi being
murdered, and I can get tinfoil hattie all day long, but he got outs, and then now we have this huge human trafficking slave trade going on in Libya because they've lost.
A vacuum opened up.
It happened the same with Iraq when we pulled out.
Yep.
And if we try to do the same thing in Syria, it's going to happen again. And we're just rinsing, repeating in that whole area. And I don't understand why we're getting that's honestly not our business. Leave it the fuck alone. That's my opinion on it.
Do you think that Granddaddy Mattis, Mad Dog Mattis, tried to advise against doing this?
Actually, he did. He, according to what I've heard on several media outlets, it comes down to originally Trump and one of his advisors wanted to move forward hardcore and do more than just a limited strike. And Mattis actually pulled him back and got him to backpedal.
Really?
That's reason it took so long is because originally they were looking at doing it within less than a day, and Mattis managed to say, hey, let's kind of look at what we're doing and what we're getting involved.
I mean, you said earlier history repeats itself, and we've been repeating history quite a lot over the last decade, over and over and over again. We're not learning from our lessons. This is one of the things where we should have just not stuck our nose into it. Russia and the Assad-backed regime were defeating ISIS. We shouldn't be involved with that shit. Unless there's some major geopolitical thing that I'm not seeing going on right now.
But it wasn't the Trump administration who got us into Syria.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No, it was a prior administration that fucked that up. Exactly. They fucked Libya up. They fucked Syria up. They created this whole shitstorm in Europe with all the migrants and the refugees and shit like that.
It was the Obama administration that got us into Syria in the first place, which I agree with you. We never should have gone into. I don't think we should have meddled with Syria. I think we should have just let them figure their shit out on their own, because if that country wants to have a revolution, by all means fucking have it. We are the prime example of, or even France, they've had 2 of them. If you want to have a revolution, by all means fucking have it. But you shouldn't have...
Oh, we've technically had 2 of them too, but one was classified as a civil war,
in theory. And I think they only classified it as a civil war because the revolutionists did not win. If the South had, I think if the South had won the Civil War, it would have been considered a second American Revolution.
I'd go with that.
But since they lost,
I say it all the time. Like a revolution is only when the defecting party actually wins.
Yes.
It's a civil war if the sovereign nation wins.
yes. So that's why I think it's referred to as the Civil War, because the Union won and not the Confederacy. But that being said, all right, so we've got, and I understand my hands are pink right now. Again, I fucking dyed my hair, like I put red in my hair today, so it looks like I finger banged a couple Care Bears. I understand that. It does. It's ridiculous.
Tell me more.
If I had done blue, like it would have looked like, Smurfs. But since it's pink or like red or whatever, it's fucking Care Bears. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh.
But yeah, okay, so I digress.
Well, she should have done green. Then we could have said she was playing with Kermit.
No. No.
Did you just like Piggy?
Do what?
I said, did you just snort like Miss Piggy?
A little. Oh, what was I saying?
Revolution, Civil War.
I still don't remember. Okay, so we're gonna try to get back on this fucking train track that I derailed from. Nope, can't do it. All right, keep talking, Pookie.
No, I mean, like, you want me to get super tinfoil hat? Like, the whole reason why Libya got the Gaddafi in Libya got overthrown was because he was trying to make an African-based currency that would have been worth more than US dollar. Ooh. That's just my opinion on it. But the Syria thing, I don't even know why the fuck we got involved with that shit.
I don't know, but again, like, okay, so all right, there we go, back to my original statement of, like, if a country wants to have a revolution, let them fucking have it. And then assess the situation on the outcome, whether it be that the powers that be retain power or the uprising gets power. You reassess the situation after, as long as the conflict does not spread across borders, let that country handle it.
Let it work. Let it work its way out.
Because, again, like, that's what we're supposed to do. Like, in world history, that's what you do. You let that country who's having this internal strife, you let them work that shit out. And you're like, all right, well, we'll talk to you in a couple years, but let us know how it goes. And then you go and, like, you talk to some other people for a while. You check in every so often. You're like, hey, how you doing over there? Oh, all right, you still fighting? Okay, well, we're just gonna be over here. You let us know when you're done. We'll fucking sort shit out when you're done. That's how it should be. But
I'm honestly just sick and tired of us being the world police when we don't have to. That's the thing that bugs the shit out of me.
And I completely agree, Pookie, is that for forever we have been the world's police. And so anytime any sort of nation has any sort of internal struggle, the entire world has looked at the U.S. and said, pick a side. Why aren't you picking a side? Yeah, well, you need to pick a side. Yeah, you
exactly.
Need to support one of these sides.
We just launched a strike right now, right? Let's just, like, put it into my perspective, because I'm a super libertarian kind of nerd, whatever you want to call me, but we just launched missiles at this country, right?
Yes.
I don't know what kind of missiles we launched, but they were probably cruise missiles. Each one of those costs like $50 million or something, like insane.
Yeah, they're insane.
Insane for the price. I mean, you could ring a doorbell and just that thing will hover there, and then it'll wait till the doors open before it blows up. It's technological advancement, yes, but my big thing is that's taxpayer dollars going to waste. My money is going away every time I pay taxes. That is, I just spent 50 some million. As an average American, you should be thinking that we just spent 50 some $1 million times whatever missiles were launched because of a conflict that we don't have any business in.
Yeah.
But we have homeless veterans sitting on the side of the streets that can't get help.
Yeah.
And we have refugees drawing a regular paycheck for the rest of their life just because they're refugees.
I don't agree with at all. I don't fucking agree with that shit at all. I don't. Call me cold-hearted. I don't fucking care. But if we have the funds to take care of people who are fleeing here to our country, we should be able to have the funds to take care of our own nation's homelessness.
Was it Los Angeles? Was it Skid Row? It's like 50 some thousand. There's like 10 cities and shit. It's insane. And we're bombing a fucking country.
Well, no, it's not that. It's, we have tent cities in LA. In a fucking downtown Hollywood.
Is it San Diego or San Francisco where they have like the human poop watch where you can go on this map and look where there's poop on the streets?
It's all major cities in California. So San Francisco, LA, San Diego, all the big ones. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous. We should not have any sort of refugee program if we still have homeless people on our streets. If we have homeless people living in a tent city, if we have such a thing called Skid Row in the middle of downtown Los Angeles, like, a block away from fucking downtown Hollywood, we should not have any sort of refugee program. Because obviously we have more refugees as our own citizens that need to be taken care of than honestly like other people. I'm sorry. I really don't care if that makes me sound like a cold-hearted bitch, but we need to take care of our own people before we take care of someone else, because we can't take care of other people if our own people are struggling.
No, let me put it in perspective here real quick, right? They want us to bring all these refugees over here from Syria and all these war-torn countries in the Middle East, right? How many of the non-war-torn countries in the Middle East are taking in refugees?
None.
Exactly.
Like, I can answer that right now. None.
And they were even talking about, setting up a refugee camp and letting them stay in a non-war area so that when things calm down, they could go back. And that's what when you interviewed the refugees, that's actually what they wanted.
Yeah, they don't want to leave. Because
that's be a part of our culture.
Exactly.
No, once you start feeding a cat, it never wants to fucking leave. I'm back on that shit again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, but it's just
don't feed the fucking cat. Just FYI. This is from my personal experience.
But your cat was so cute.
She was nice. She was nice, but I can't take care of no cat.
She was such a sweetheart, and she totally chose you to like be her person. Just saying.
Not my problem anymore.
You should have kept the cat.
Cold-hearted.
You're cold-blooded. Oh my god.
Honestly, had it been like a coyote puppy or like a wolf or some shit that came up to me, like a dog, like a canine version of an animal, I probably would have kept it.
Right.
Yeah, you're a dog person.
Yeah, they understand me. If I can get into a farting contest with another animal and I win, I like that animal.
Oh my goodness.
That derailed the conversation.
Right? No, a little.
Sorry.
Way to go, Pookie. Way to go.
And need some. It was called comedic relief every now and then.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, and what you were talking about with California, they've got such a problem And half of it isn't just because of homelessness. It's because cost of living is so high, people can't afford to live. They can afford an apartment, a studio apartment. How expensive is it? And I mean, you're a middle-class worker who is doing a regular job, a blue-collar job, and you can't afford.
Okay. Oh, all right. So, true story, right? Okay. So my younger sister, who is almost 31, so she's just over a year younger than me. She went to college after high school, right? I didn't. I joined the Army. But so she's got a degree. She currently lives in and I quote, the tiniest 1-bedroom apartment, unquote, ever to ever exist. She pays more for that in rent than I do for a 4-bedroom house in Texas.
And you have to take pause with that.
And I don't have a degree. I'm working towards it, kind of. I don't know. But I'm almost at an associate's degree, but fucking
work as you go. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go.
But I'm in a 4-bedroom house with a large fenced backyard. And my rent is less than a tiny 1-bedroom apartment in California.
But do you understand why people are fleeing California?
Yes,
in the droves.
The fucking cost of living. My sister, however, can't leave because she has, she's got her son, my nephew, with her ex-husband, and they split custody 50-50. So she physically cannot leave because my nephew. So she's stuck, and it's. The cost of living in California is absolutely ridiculous. And it's one of the reasons why my family, again, I'm California born and raised. It's one of the reasons why my family has been moving away. The house that I grew up in was hold on, let me think. I have to think about it for a second. It was a 4-bedroom house, 3-bathroom. It's a 2-story house, less than a 1/4 acre of a lot. Maybe a fucking...
It'd take you 5 minutes to run the lawnmower around?
Yeah, if that. But it was not in a gated community, but it was definitely in a suburb. So when my parents moved out of that house, I think they bought the house for just under $500,000 or around $500,000 when we moved there in the late 90s.
Housing market.
And then when they moved out, that house was worth over $1 million.
Holy shit.
For a 4-bedroom house, 3-bathroom with a sized lot. Worth over $1 million.
It's ridiculous. It's kind of the same here up in the DC area. If you live in the DC area, the surrounding areas, 20 years ago, you could buy a house a decent price. Now those same houses 20 years old are worth almost $500,000.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Right now it's a seller's market because during the Obama administration, when all the housing market went away and everything, nobody built. And now all of a sudden we've got an economy rolling back into place. Well, all of a sudden people say, hey, I'd like a house. Well, there's no houses built.
Well, it's my neighborhood I'm living in right now. There's lots of uncleared plots of land all of a sudden just popping up for sale out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
3 or 4 houses in my area are for sale right now. It's just see for sale signs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But, it is a seller's market right now, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this kind of gives you, people sit there and they say they want socialism. When we were talking about the millennials want socialism, this compares to what happened over in Europe with they're not as socialistic as maybe Venezuela. but they are socialistic.
They are.
You over there, back when I was over in Europe,
Ooh.
an apartment would cost you, a one bed or a studio apartment where you could fit a bed in, no chairs, and you had a bathroom and you had a little kitchenette. That would cost you 1,500 Deutschmark.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, Deutschmarks were worth more than U.S. dollars back then, right?
Deutschmark back then was for every dollar you got 2 Deutschmark. But it's still, you're talking about if you weren't German or if you weren't American and had the dollar, you had a Deutschmark and you had to pay 1,500 Deutschmark a month for that. And here's the other part people don't understand. You don't own. You pass leases down families over
Right, yeah.
there.
You don't own anything.
And
society owns it.
Exactly. The government owns it. And you pass down a lease from family member to family member. You will see generations of family members live in townhouses. And
well, this kind of sounds like New York, the way the leasing system works. Like you can't have an apartment in New York unless it's leased by someone else that owns it.
Well, but the point is, there's no such thing as ownership there. You don't own. You will never own. The government owns. And
sounds like every Commonwealth I ever lived in. Virginia's like that. You can't. Your house is like the government's property. Your car is the government's property.
And that's the biggest problem about socialism is you have no prospect of ownership whatsoever. Here, yes, we'll have to pay taxes on our land, but we, at that point, have the say-so of what we can do with it. I don't know. That's my 2 cents worth as far as socialism and the whole California turning into.
You know, it's really funny that you bring that up because science, the great community that the science community is, has proven that communism, which is the end goal of socialism, makes nations poorer and less healthy.
Oh yeah.
So no, this study actually just came out. Quote, living under communism makes countries poorer and less healthy for decades, according to a landmark new study. Researchers testing historical connections between cultures found that whether a country had been under communism was the biggest factor for those with lower health, income, and education levels. In the first undertaking of its kind, they analyzed the fortunes of 44 countries across Europe and Asia and looked at geography, religion, systems of government, and a more intangible quality called deep cultural ancestry. Writing in the journal Royal Society Open Science, they matched these factors against where they ranked in the United Nations Human Development Index, which measures per capita income, life expectancy at birth, and the number of years its citizens spend in education. So most of the issues they looked at appeared to have little or no effect on the disparities between the countries, except for Islamic countries scoring a little worse on education. Instead, a single strongest predictor for a country's health and the second strongest for its wealth turned out to be whether its rulers had embraced communism. The study said that after World War II, economic growth in communist Eastern Europe was slower than in the West. But despite the Soviet Union's collapse almost 30 years ago, the effects are still being felt. The studies say that communism was also behind the stagnation of life expectancy beyond the Iron Curtain during the 70s and 80s, which has set those countries back even today. The researchers say, quote, the proximate causes for this low life expectancy are complex, but high alcohol consumption, smoking, and poor workplace safety, as well as low quality diet and living conditions associated with lower incomes are implicated. Which is true. If you go to fucking Berlin is the best example of this. Because you're able to actually see, to this day, the differences between West Berlin, which is under capitalism, and East Berlin, which was under communism. And it's the same fucking city. And it's literally, if you cross the street, the differences are night and day. Just in how the infrastructure is, let alone like the people. And so I think this whole thing with, the socialism, it's these kids don't understand that you're setting yourselves backwards in time. Like you're not advancing. And they're not looking at history about this at all. When it's clearly a proven fact, like, hey, this is not a good thing for society, because there is no growth with socialism or communism. There's none. And you can't have a society that's just stagnant. They're going to die. They're going to die out.
Well, but that's the whole idea behind the colleges now. They're trying to, everybody talks about college kids being snowflakes. They're trying to teach college kids idealism. And idealistically, socialism is a great idea.
Yes, on paper.
But that would mean you would have to basically put a microchip in everybody's head, and the minute they had a corrupt thought,
you take them out. But no, and I've said this before, Owl, many times, is that socialism and communism on paper, right now, on paper, it looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's appealing. It's appealing to young kids. That's the way it works.
Because it's like, oh, everyone's a fair share in everything. Oh, everything's equal. Awesome. But in reality, it's not what's written down on paper. It's the reality of both of those are so extreme and in a negative aspect that it completely contradicts this euphoric ideal that it puts out on paper.
And it's mainly because of corruption.
I was about to get into that, man. The whole thing is crony capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, it turns kids off. And the only reason why that shit exists is because the government allows it to happen.
Yep. All it takes is one corrupt person in socialism or communism, either as one of the government officials or as someone who's using the system, and the system eventually falls apart because it falls upon itself. Capitalism, we have our problems, yes, but eventually we police ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Money, and people don't like the fact that money rules, but money does talk enough to get people to try.
Yeah.
And I've always said, I don't, as a shaman, I'm not a one to sit there and try to say, well, money is a good thing, but you have to have a carrot. Otherwise, people don't function.
Yeah.
And if it
carrot on the stick. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. So if you have to have a dollar bill instead of that carrot, well, that's what it is. What gets you out of bed every day? What makes it so that you appreciate having a vacation? What makes it appreciate?
If I got everything for free, man, I wouldn't want to get out of bed.
Exactly. It becomes, okay, it actually becomes a non-existent life. You just sit there and you exist in a pool of your own filth, because that's all you end up being. You have no aspirations. You have no get up and go. And they found that a lot of people in countries like that lack a lot of creativity for that reason.
Yeah. Because there is no innovation.
No.
There is no strive to do anything. Whereas in a capitalist world where everything is so competitive, that's where you get your artists. That's where you get your your Imagineers, your engineers who come out and strive to build something better than what's been built before.
And you hit
or
it
your
right.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
Like we were talking about, like, what was it? Toys R Us. Like the
Yeah.
dude made a big business investment. I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, this is a dead business model to my eyes, but if he can turn it into something else, that's the way the system works.
exactly. And what you hit it right there on the head as far as imaginers, dreamers, being able to
You can't
think.
have that in a socialist or a communist society. Because their dreams, their ideas get squashed. And any idea that you have that is not of the party is considered a bad idea.
Exactly.
Whereas in this capitalistic, this republic society, these different ideas are able to flourish, and you're able to actually see something from it. So, I'm gonna just hop off my little soapbox now.
I agree with you on that. Like, take all artwork, for example, always comes from a free nation of thinkers. The
Yep.
Greeks, the Egyptians. I mean, the Nords didn't really have much. They had artwork, but it was kind of like lost for the times. But
But the Romans.
I mean, yes, exactly. All the free thinkers, the people who understood diplomacy, had the greatest art, have the greatest history. Why are we backtracking to some bullshit?
And that's the real question is, what reason is this agenda being pushed on those on a time when we actually are at a very high point in our social and cultural? What reason would
we would have the new Renaissance right now? We have free information floating around where we could just divulge to each other, but we're being restricted.
And look at
like
Zuck.
you said.
Look at Zuck. He's actually sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, the whole we may need restrictions on us, and we may need to do laws." What's he? He's opening the door to.
He's opening the door for the repression of the First Amendment.
Exactly.
That's
That's
exactly.
That's what humanity needs right now. Is we need open thought.
We do, and we don't need people repressing, especially the First Amendment. It doesn't matter if someone agrees with everything that I'm saying, or if I agree with everything someone else is saying. It's the fact that they have the right to say it. That's what we're losing. And especially for someone who owns a social media site, fuck you, Zuckerberg. This fucking video is probably going to get banned because I said that. I don't fucking care.
Whatever.
The fact that you are out here saying that you need to put regulations on free speech is absolutely appalling. Like, maybe you need to go back to school to learn how to read cursive so you can reread that Constitution. But that's one of my fucking rights. And
the nice part about this, though, is if he does it, capitalism is going to talk.
Yeah.
Because people will leave.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where it puts
Fired
it is.
up.
That's the part about our society. We have the right to say, hey, government, if you agree with this and you want to put all these restrictions on us and shut us, glitch us all out, hey, no problem. Someone else.
Vote with your dollars. Vote with your dollars. I tell people, like, no one understands how capitalism works. You vote with your dollar bill in your pocket. Exactly. Stop using the platform. They lose ad. Yep. Like, look what's happening with the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exact. Don't watch the shit. Stop watching it. They lose ad revenue, and boom, it's done. They'll change your platform really quick because that dollar bill means a lot to them.
And to back up something that you said, Minx, I always told people, I don't have to agree with you. I served to make sure that even if I don't like what you say, you have the right to say it, and you're free to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just it, is that,
I'm down with that too.
you need to, like that's one of the best parts about being American and being, in this country is that, I may agree with you or I may disagree with you on certain subjects, but I'm at least adult enough to like let you say your piece and be like, you know what, we can agree to disagree, and I'm not going to judge you any differently. Like, I've said many times, I have friends who are far left where I'm like, like, you're kind of bordering communism. Like, that fuck's wrong with you. But at the same, I'm still going to treat them as a person, and I'm going to be friendly with them. I may not agree with literally 90% of anything that they say, but you know what? That's what they believe. That's what they fucking believe. And who the fuck am I to tell them that they're wrong or like that they are, believing the wrong thing? If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I can't force them to, have the same viewpoint as myself. And then I've got, friends and family who are like the extreme opposite, who are all the way over on the right. And you're like, God, like, I need you to tone it down. Like, just a little, like, we've moved beyond this. So, like, I'm right in the midline where I'm like, you know what? I agree with both sides. And so I'm looked at like the weird one. It's great. It's amazing.
Minx.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Dude, just like that, our fucking time is done. Absolutely crazy. All right, so a little bit of housekeeping. So we do a show 6 nights a week here on WTF Nation Radio. We start at 2000 hours, also known as 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So tonight is Friday Night Freedom with myself, Minx, and Pookie. Tomorrow is Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie. Sunday is Kicking It with Kaz and Owl. Monday is the Monday edition with Flash and Ice, or Ice and Flash, or Flash, I don't fucking know. And then we have Tuesday, which is Tied Up Tuesday with myself and Gray Cloud. Wednesday, we don't have a show Wednesday. We normally play video games on Wednesday.
Yeah, check out WTF Nation Gaming.
And then Thursday, we have Sergeant's Time, which is with Ice and Doc Madness and literally anyone else who wants to join in. But yeah, so our next guest is next Tuesday, which is the 17th. And it is Tori, Williamson from Dogs to Dog Tag. So Tori has over 20 years of civilian and military dog training experience and a passion for training both dogs and dog handlers for service. He has helped many of his handlers to adopt their dogs. Tori's broad knowledge and deep understanding of how canines can help cope with stress guides this organization and promises to help at-risk veterans recover from PTSD. After that, our next guest is on the 24th of April, which is also a Tuesday, and it is Dom from Guardians of the Green Beret. So Guardians of the Green Beret are former and current special forces that are dedicated to exposing those who falsely claim to be Green Berets. Dom will be back on to update us on some of the cases they have recently exposed. So that's going to be exciting.
Sounds like a good lineup.
Right? So, yeah, that's our show tonight. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you again to Erik Stolhanske for coming on. I'm really sorry I, completely fangirled out on you. I'm a little sorry. I'm not super sorry about that. I was definitely a little starstruck for a second. Oh my God. But yeah, Pookie, Owl, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me.
Oh, yep.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we are gonna go on out with a song, and everyone have a great rest of your Friday night. Have an amazing weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we will see you here tomorrow night for Saturday Night Savagery. All right, bye, you guys. Have a great time. Shots.
Shots.
Spent my life in the mountains of East Tennessee. Days on the farm, it just comes naturally. Daylight to dark is not for the typical man. Just a backwoods country boy, proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Well, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds down range till the enemy hits the sand. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Pack my bags, headed out to the big sandbox. Just some good old boys and me, some made it some night. Well, the price of freedom, son, it don't come free. I guess that's why the good Lord chose me. This here's my rifle, this here's my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds down range till the